If you are going to make me say it out loud, I miss you.
You miss me.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the biggest ways Netflix's Bridgerton differs from Julia Quinn's novels.
Where did you get all of this money?
Eloise, what are you doing going through my things?
Answer me.
Number 10, Lady Whistledown. Let's begin with our humble narrator.
Surely another rumour provided by that vicious scandal-mongering writer. Should her degradation know no bounds?
If you've only seen the show, you may be surprised to learn that Lady Whistledown isn't nearly as important in the books. The show borrows heavily from Gossip Girl and makes her a major character, even revealing her identity early on.
Look no further than Lady Whistledown. She possesses a huge talent for writing, and yet she must hide away and publish under a false name.
In the books, Lady Whistledown's society papers are used as framing devices to bookend the chapters, but there isn't as much interest in finding out her identity.
If anyone knew who Whistledown truly was, she'd be strung up for what she said.
That is not my point.
She also doesn't do anything as scandalous in the books, never ruining Colin and Eloise's reputations, for instance. It will be interesting to see how Season 3 handles this, and whether she's finally revealed to the rest of the ton.
Perhaps I will come forward one day. Though you must know, dear reader, that decision shall be left entirely up to me. Yours truly.
Number 9, The Queen. Another huge change to the show is Queen Charlotte, who is rarely, if ever, mentioned in the books. And the ton certainly doesn't live or die by her opinion on certain matters.
It is not a difficult task. Your father and I made 15 royal babies all by ourselves. I do not see why the whole lot of you cannot make just one.
But she's become such a popular character that she's got her own spin-off series, which was also very well received and had a stellar cast.
Are you in need of assistance of some kind?
Her rivalry with Lady Whistledown is one of the show's best through lines, and we can't wait to see how she responds when Whistledown's identity is ultimately revealed, as we're expecting it to be in Season 3. Because the Queen remains hooked on Whistledown, so does everyone else, making her column even more important.
Is that why the sisters' wedding was abandoned?
Oh, child, no. That wedding did not happen because I simply changed my mind.
Number 8, Prince Friedrick.
Prince Friedrick, this is the young lady I was telling you about. The season's diamond.
The handsome Prussian prince who arrives in London in search of a bride is another royal who doesn't exist in the books at all. Simon and Daphne have far fewer obstacles to overcome in the books, and the short-lived love triangle between them and the prince never happens. But we like the character of Prince Friedrick, and it's hinted that Queen Charlotte eventually sets him up with Edwina Sharma.
Miss Edwina, have I yet told you about my nephew? He is a prince. And he is available.
This doesn't happen in the books, but after everything Edwina goes through, she and Friedrich deserve to be happy together. But he was a real person and married a princess in reality. Number 7, Marina Thompson.
I can hardly believe I'm saying this, but we cannot go further. You are a lady, and I must maintain your honour and mine.
She was a major character in Season 1 and returned for a brief cameo in Season 2, along with her new husband, Sir Philip Crane, who readers will know eventually marries Eloise in the books.
So, you compromised this young lady? Certainly not. I'm a gentleman.
In fact, it's only through Philip and Eloise's story that we learn anything about Marina at all, who never appears herself, as she's already died tragically by the time the 5th book rolls around.
Mr. Bridgerton, Sir Philip Crane. Pleasure to meet you at last.
Whether she'll meet this very unfortunate end in the show is yet to be seen, but it would definitely be a sad way to begin the romance between Philip and Elle.
Marina, he is truly amiable, but, well, you do not seem happy with him.
You've only been here a few short hours.
Perhaps Eloise will get a new love interest entirely, though readers of the books wouldn't be happy about that. Number 6, the Featheringtons. While the Featheringtons are always present in the books, and one of them, of course, marries into the Bridgerton family, they're not as important as they are in the show.
More importantly, how did you get here?
I had an inside tip.
There's no gambling subplot involving Lord Featherington, and no scheming new heir to take over the household. These subplots needed to be added to make the story work for television, since in the books, we're always glued to the perspectives of the two leads.
The only empathy thing I have are those mines, Portia. They are an utter failure. I have nothing.
And readers will also know there's a fourth Featherington sister who's thus far missing from the show completely, Felicity. It's a point of contention in Book 4 that Portia thinks Colin wants to marry Felicity, as opposed to Penelope. Number 5, the bee scene.
Do not tell me
stand still,
what
damn
to
it.
do!
This iconic scene plays out in a much weirder way in the books, and it's something we're glad Netflix decided to change when they translated it to the screen. In the show, when Kate is stung by a bee in the garden, she and Anthony share an intimate moment as she calms him down while he panics, and then they very nearly kiss.
I am unharmed. I am unharmed.
In the book, however, Anthony tears her clothes off and tries to suck the venom from the sting on her chest.
It was just a bee.
Yes, really. Not only is this strange, it's also not the way to treat a bee sting if it happens in real life. Maybe Netflix didn't want people trying to imitate it. Number 4, Eloise discovers the truth. In the season 2 finale, Eloise finally listened to what Penelope said as she observed the ballroom and put 2 and 2 together.
Hearing you repeat all that gossip tonight, it struck me. Because I've never heard you like that.
She searched Penelope's room and found her money and her stash of Whistledown papers, realising that Penelope has been Lady Whistledown all along. This never happens in the books.
I'm so sorry, you were right about all of it. I was trying to protect you.
Is that what you were doing?
In fact, only Colin and later on Cressida work out the truth, though Lady Danbury, of course, has her suspicions. Eloise is far less obsessed with Whistledown, with Hyacinth instead leading the investigations, and is impressed when she learns what Penelope has been doing.
You have no idea how horrible it's felt to keep this from you. From everyone. For so long. Whistledown has been all I have had and I have given it up. I am done with it.
It's definitely an interesting change to see Eloise find out the truth for herself so early on. Number 3, the Order.
You've sworn off women then?
Not for the time being.
I am a woman.
You are Pen. You do not count. You're my friend.
Readers were surprised to learn that Colin and Penelope were being moved forward in the lineup, taking up the 3rd season of the show, when they're the subject of the 4th book.
Your eyes. A most remarkable shade of blue.
This is an interesting change to be sure. Colin is an established ship already popular with viewers, but leaving them until 4th does give them more time to develop, as Colin spends years travelling and Penelope is meant to be 28 by the time the book begins.
Do you not need a chaperone?
Spinsters do not need chaperones.
You are not a spinster.
As it stands, the viewing public doesn't know who's going to be the subject of season 4, Benedict or Eloise. It should be Benedict, but Eloise is very popular. Number 2, Daphne and Simon.
How does a woman come to be with child? Your mother?
No, my mother told me nothing.
The most controversial and talked about scene in the show, this season 1 moment, left a sour taste in many people's mouths when Daphne assaults Simon to prove that he can get her pregnant. He's just choosing not to.
How could you? How could I? How could I? You lied to me.
I did not lie.
I trusted you.
It was already uncomfortable viewing, but in the books, the scene is even more notorious. Simon is actually drunk and half asleep when it happens. There isn't any room to argue that it may have been consensual, unlike in the show.
I told you I cannot give you children.
Cannot and will not are two entirely different things.
We're glad this was changed, and maybe it should have been changed even more. That, or Daphne actually realises that what she did was wrong and a violation of Simon, which never happens in either version.
You were the one who insisted on this union. You told me I was enough.
That was before I knew you.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, it's diverse. Much was made ahead of release about the show's casting, as it forgoes the usual trend of having predominantly white casts in period dramas.
Look at our queen.
Look at our king, look at their marriage, look at everything it is doing for us.
This decision has earned its widespread acclaim and enduring popularity, making it stand out from other Regency romances. But it's not part of the books. Julia Quinn, however, has said that she loves what the show is doing with the casting, as each season makes the cast more and more diverse.
She is accomplished in both Latin and Greek, in addition to Marathi and Hindustani, of course. She not only plays sitar, murli, but pianoforte too.
As well as this, it was finally announced that in future seasons there will be LGBTQ+ storylines. We don't know how or who yet, but we already got some representation with Mr. Granville in Season 1 and Brimsley and Reynolds in Queen Charlotte. Will we finally get bisexual Benedict?
Stealing your glances, disguising your touches. We cannot so much as smile at each other without first ensuring no one else is watching.
Let me know in the comments which scenes you think should be changed and which are too sacred for Netflix to alter.
Lady Whistledown merely writes what she sees. Perhaps we need to help her to see things a bit more clearly.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.